They fell to Russ and the Wizards. They're now 1-3 with Anthony Davis back in the lineup, sitting in 5th place out west. It's not great. AD says this is the time to get desperate. Take a listen.
Desperate situation. We control our own destiny. And so we have to start playing with a sense of desperation, even though, we are in the playoffs as of right now, but we're not that far off from being in playing games. So we got to play with a sense of desperation as well.
AD's right. Look at this. Look where the Lakers are. Look where that play-in zone is. They are awfully close. So, Chris Broussard, what do you make of AD saying the Lakers have to, quote, start playing with a sense of desperation?
One problem with what he said. AD should have exchanged the word we for I. AD is the one that's not balling. They were 7-6 in the 13 games before AD returned, including a victory over Utah. They're 1-3 since AD's been back. And his numbers, 16 points, 39% shooting, 19% from three, and the most damning stat, 5 rebounds a game since he's been back. Now, I get some of those numbers may be a bit skewed because his first game against Dallas didn't play as much and didn't have good numbers. But he hasn't been very good over these past 3 games. It's as simple as that.
Nope.
In the 4 games he's been back, of the 97 players in the NBA who have played 100 or more minutes in those 4 games, AD is 5th worst in the league in plus minus. He's minus 37. All right, he is not getting it done. It's as simple as that. And look, some of it, he's adjusting to playing with Andre Drummond, and AD has been on the perimeter way too much. I get that that's a part of his game, but he ain't Kevin Durant. He's not even Joel Embiid on the perimeter, okay? He needs to have a mix of getting some stuff in the lane. Look at last night. Don't be fooled by the 26 points. He really didn't play very well, but he had a good run in the 4th quarter, had 14 points, and guess what? He was playing center while Andre Drummond was on the bench. So that's something the Lakers are going to have to look at, how much they can play AD and Drummond together. That's going to be interesting. But the fact of the matter is this. AD was not very good, or he wasn't a superstar playing like one before he got injured. And since he's been back, he hasn't even looked like a star. They cannot win it if AD is subpar. He's got to bring desperation and urgency.
Yeah, sometimes as a player, we don't face reality. Like I talked about this last week as far as the Nets and what they were dealing with. Like, you just move on to the next thing. Guy goes down, next man up mentality. We hear that in football a lot, but we get blinded sometimes with reality. Sometimes you're just not a good team. And the reality is the Lakers aren't a good team. Now, LeBron James comes back and he's healthy and he gets back to where he was. They're right where they need to be with AD playing better. We need the AD from the bubble. That's what this team needs. So as far as desperation, no, you don't need to be desperate. You just need to play better. You need LeBron James back. This is a really good team. Really good defensively. They have shooters. You have LeBron James, who is the best player on the planet. Not the most dominant player on the planet anymore, but he's the best player on the planet. So when you think about AD, I don't know what the heck is going on with him, but he needs to get tougher. He needs to go attack and take over. Even last night, Nick, he get hit in the eye. He falls down. He's laying there, and it seemed like he was about to bring out a stretcher. It's like, come on, man, let's go. Let's get going.
You hate that. Brandon hates the NBA
bounce up,
history of the dings, and I know it. I love it. All right, so I'm listening to Brandon, and Brandon's been on that AD has not ascended to the level he needed to all years, to his credit, and then AD got hurt, and now he's back, and he's worse than he was before, and so that's been a topic of Brandon's all year. And I'm listening to Broussard. Broussard, let me just ask you a question. If you take LeBron and Anthony Davis off the Lakers roster, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, do they have a top 50 player Like, who's the next best player on the team? Is it Kuzma? Is it KCP?
No,
It's Schroeder, I guess, probably.
Schroeder's
probably
that,
the best.
Yeah,
He's
that
close.
notch below All-Star. Yeah. He's that notch
Okay,
below
so they got
All-Star
one. They got one top 50 guy, but they don't have another All-Star. They wouldn't have an All-Star.
Right.
So then you put AD on the team, and we're saying, and AD is playing this season statistically the worst year of his career since his rookie season. Man, oh man, it sure sounds to me like either one of two things are true. Either the Lakers are totally screwed, or if this ragtag group of guys can be brought together just by a 36-year-old man in his 18th season, and they somehow show up in the finals, and God forbid in those finals they beat the unbeatable supernova that is the Brooklyn Nets, we're really, really going to have to start evaluating how we as a collective do talk about the guy who's not playing right now, LeBron James, because Wilds, I don't know if you're hearing what I'm hearing, but what I'm hearing is the Lakers aren't that good. What do you mean stop it? What I'm hearing is the Lakers are not that good. Anthony Davis, who is supposed to be well, no, but one of them's there.
Take
Anthony
the
Davis
best
is
two
there.
players off
And you
any
just
team,
said,
and they're not very good.
okay, but
Take Devin Booker and Chris Paul off Phoenix and see how good they are.
Right. Hold on.
Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert
but
off
Anthony
Utah.
Davis
Stop
is
it,
there. Anthony Davis is there, though. You just said he's the guy that needs to be better. So I'm just saying that it would appear, Wilds, that one of two things are true. Either the Lakers are abjectly screwed, or they are still the Western Conference favorites, because even in year 18, 36-year-old LeBron's going to come in and save the day. We can see where everyone's money's at. I think people know where mine's at, Wilds.
They're screwed.
Of course. And I'm agreeing with you, and it pains me to the deepest parts of my heart.
Really?
Because, Brandon, you know how you said before you did press conferences, the PR person would pull you aside and be like, hey, they'll probably ask you this.
Right.
And I think that's what happened in this post game. Because he's like, hey, they're probably going to ask you how you play. He's like, what are you going to say? He's like, well, I'm going to say we'll be totally fine when LeBron comes back. Like, ugh, no, don't say that, because it feels like, we're not taking the game seriously. Maybe you go with, like, we got to be playing with more desperation. Like, okay, I'll go with that one. Give me a break. When LeBron's back, everything will be fine. It's silly to even talk about it. Guess what? You know what? On the set of Top Gun 2, when Tom Cruise gets the cold and can't do the scenes, and Goose has to carry the entire thing, Goose is not like, I got to step up, man. This movie doesn't work without Goose. Like, Goose, you're a Goose, man. Wait till Tom Cruise is back. The whole thing will work. Spending a lot of energy talking about how Anthony Davis needs to play better.
Broussard seems skeptical.
Back, everything's fine. I know one can't say it.
I don't know.
Broussard, you seem
skeptical. Are you, Broussard?
LeBron is, I agree with Brandon. I don't know what his best, most dominant diversion. I don't get all that. But LeBron's still the best player in the world until otherwise notified, all right? But